7 ni kwabna boni the third anu ye osu alatamanche no no osaya yokohine wotachimai in any case oka Santiago na Santiago na ya about 37,163 people and 37,163 people no may na lead the majority group ewa Santiago na tieniye na mkasa mchero he misi ko obi antimi hwehwa ye wo ntimi hwehwa me ana yasimba yusu mu media na dia propaganda ana we yo ko hine ana yo ko hine sio be hey kwanu tumi na ye kasa mchero ye ko hine wa Santiago na Santiago na man hine no osiso eye doctor anochia babio frimpo ababio no miankasa me ba no tieniye ni kasa mchero oga se ye tri ha obetimi abehwehwa ye mo yusu propaganda na mo de edinsemu no na obi agya ye be kan adwa kyerem tieniye Babu drobo somfo a wote konfanoche bosom anim tieniye na mekasam kyerɛw a konfanoche bosom na ya asante bosom asante konfo prekope okotumfo se tutu anim a onyi ne mpaboa no memeba no tieniye na mekasam kyerɛw umu ade na ato na akekansem hu no you take say bi obi betimi minni dom anim kura mi di dom more than 15,000 anim etie ka tete na ka ebokuro ba obi aka mi yedi kuro otu na aka nsem hunu na aka de ye ode ana ye kohina o ye hwan ana ohine ye jase akonwa ye bo meme na nana kwabere nyina onyina band krom ha ahoma nsia ahoma edumienu 12 strings ono na ebo etise bi o ye mfiri kwahwe akwa fofie ofa kwabena kwache o man fm wanya GMPC board na adaso a kawanu tum ne daso boko ne ye nyina ye mu man no ye nka no kore nkyere se de no kore tienie ade we ma ye no over the years mo she da no ma be personality attack na asem no aye discuss na angasa mo nkoso yes mo fix your mind what does that got to do with mahini amidie yes mo fix your mind what does that got to do with aye minika to atete yes mo fix your mind what has that got to do with anything Ave we ya yesi hopes in adoye. Hopes in Miami no. O madam for pa. Eti me share down ko hopes in adoye so tienie. Hopes in adoye me share down ko so. Ba me nu mienu nyina nim sa ade na wo ye no eye jandam political jandam. Na me nu mienu na te happy FM ye 2016 ne yes ade no. So it means minimum agoro na ni so chen. Oke kansem hunu ayenim a wo wia no akotena eye ye kan se mimos osinado ye wia ne akotena mimos jowulu akire ho eye methodist dan akire ho ne ya seria because asem no e kan ne nya no kore eti de wo ye you should know say I know it better minu apa no 2016 me no na na ebo jandam ye fa bibi jandam asem ne nya no kore akama ne nya no kore Abetra say na mukoko akoso mono mokoye dey we are in charge you are not in charge bia who hope see you know say you are not in charge bia who ubo trim castle ana akoso mono mokoye dey hey me say Ghana for mumie mani ye bie mani amoma hunu de ekoso Ghana political distortion omo shada no omo ye Oko akose mono mokoye de medical sire otumfo ntam kase akantam kase se said was wo evidence se mema kwaji sika wojo mama ho and ye dey fix the country no on fantam kase ne mehweso ne nko otumfo anim kogodi asam no afo bi antimi fa mehweso si kro we ye nyama mo nse ne enyama mo nse ne chena no amount of intimidation can intimidate the governor of the republic I tell you Hopes in adoye to ano akikansem hunu mimi ni apa no na unim nyansa kobi adwuma hopes me barbering shop employ nipa 9 me farm employ nipa no less than 7 sebio me de cars ba nkrofo akwa me afram no mo munya bi eton flex mo munya bi eton a wo mudidi ho so doso etimenya kwahwe akwa me to amenya adwuma tie de me kan ye mutimi hwehwa obi akro we mu ya nemu beko Yara ya asasini ya boardende maye emoja ye nananum hwegu ho adru me ne won susu se beye bi ato so ye ne mo beko stop that thing ofa kwa bena kwa che wanya GMPC board na da so a kawanu tum ne da so hopes na do ye you I'm telling you you know I know V8 na asem no V8 no asem no you know I know ayen ko ho ya tu abawie minu mienu nyina na na timimos ye bojandam jai saade na moye no emoa Yes, someone fix your mind now. It's got nothing to do with personality attack. You see, abroad you been so to work cancer. Alright, oh dear, oh no, you just dumb. Come on, please. I won't waste my message on you. Come on, get serious. Oh, get serious in this country. Oh, me ma want get serious. We are not joking. But me, look, me throw a challenge in this country. If you think say na memona ubu no oh, a memona ye hune if you think say ye worse, katwani na menchira wade, katwani na menchira wade. In the next 10 years, wo MP e ya abronye. In the next 10 years, wo MP ye hope senado ye. In the next 10 years, wo MP ye osubempa. And look at the kind of people who are going to lead this country in the next 10 years. Messi ya no amoba konia jo minus wo ye mo mo MPP and this is emokrom how. You think we are joking? Guys ye di agro ho. Ya no mo be ko. Ye pesi ye build your mining ye. Ye pesi ye build your mining money gina baby. And your personality attack, and your brains. And I'm throwing a challenge to any of you, be it MPP or NDC. Let any youth stand up. Let's have a debate. Put your hopes in Adoya, put your Usubempa, put your, can I say, Abronye, ne put your my Kwabra Kwache, or for Kwabra Kwache, for Munina Besi for a debate. Now, I'm going to tell me the NTS constitution, we are defending as a nation. No one tell me. I dare any youth within the MPP or NDC say omomra for a debate, and you see we are going to go there Dr. Baumia way in 2016 and yeah about personality attack. It's about having intellectual discourse, intellectual debate. It is also we a youth our MPP mu a youth or NDC mu na say also we reasons in the defenders our constitution way 1992. I throw a challenge to any youth within the MPP especially. Omomra me chere de ntia independence our constitution we. Apart from no ko fear where the mamo, momra me chere de ntia independence our constitution we. And you see, akoya bibi to say, hey, we ma di omo di awie, yanso ye di we di omo di awie, we ye di omo di awie, eti ebedu ye so aye se change, we will change the constitution. In 2001, omaya ye timu ye ni planning. Omaya yetimu adie betimi asi na yetewon ne yehwe. And you see, you think say bibia ebia enwa na badabi, they intentionally create problem just so they can make capital out of the misery of the people. Doom so I am telling you a man made. Doom so a man made. Just so ombenya kwaya kati deals akese e de ho say chabam. Kokuche isbesie. Akanya ne sa Yatinama a from 2001. Yenina Kaisa 2001. Yes, Akosomo, Dam, no, Elevos, no, Ecoform, Ebi Womua, Umu, Sumu, and there you see 6 months. You were power wine low shadow. Say near Tinamo, Mampeniku for Yamea Dum Eja, 2008. Akosomo levels, no, Ebaya, Emia Hotoye. 10 years. We don't have visionary leadership. In 1961, Kwame Nkrumah timit na se dwene ho ehunu se da bi oman no emre bi baba enipa 6.635 million people na wo oman we mu no ebeye more etisi ekosi dam a yensi dam twetwepo a etimi generate about 160 megawatts of power dwene ho no si akosomo dam in 1960. As at 1961, Akosomotimi generated power of about 1,020 megawatts in this country. Meanwhile, our consumption levels were less than 340 consumption. But Kwame Nkrumah Jenho, Emiye Timi Sa Koyanim, Emma Kwame Nkrumah Yaya by 1972, Nagana Timi generated a power of about 3,321 megawatts in this country. And remember, Bechero, a megawatt a generated as and now. And visionary leadership. Leadership say yentimi plan it. Leadership yentimi looking into the future. Leadership you use to knee-jerk reaction to solve problems. Kwame Nkrumah si Akosomo dam tie na mema revelation bi. Kwame Nkrumah si Akosomo dam in 1960. MPP mpanimfo ka say it is over ambitious. Imagine say Kwame Nkrumah si Akosomo dam na kadum so na ke bende. If you think it is worse today, Imagine Kwame Nkrumah never built Akosombo Dam with the help of World Bank and a kind of VACO, American company. I best set up a voter revolt authority in 1960. By 1965, near we Akosombo Dam. By 1972, near to me generating power to the tune of 3,321 megawatts in this country. By 1976, near to me generating power of 3,970 megawatts. Meanwhile, power consumption in this country was about 540 megawatts. And so, penny for Jenny, say, yes, our power, no. And then we penny for doom so bad. And them Sika will move a deity near causes a generators, a sewer near cut deal, Nessicani floor generators, and wow, and near Dinsa, yes, a casa. Our brother was as a young time worn off. Ebetimi yes solar plant kakra and I know Morocco for the biggest solar plant in the world. Morocco. Penny for the Yene and Quachiri. Yet me at by 2012. Menoka said by 2012, Nagana lose to the tune of about $380 million to a year $970 million. Compare a year about 6% of our GDP because of doom so. And so Penny Phone cannot sit down and have a long-lasting binding solution to problems. And only as fix the country. And no, and yes, fix the country. You can't fix the country. You hear a permanent solutions to our problems. And you knee-jerk reaction. And you're sending your political langars to come and muddy the waters. Adaya the petition call IGP ho say grofo say yento constitution ngu IGP on fro be ka sounds e ho ne ba ko kan kese no boga si so ho mo wie ya na UTV for ashada frɛ obisi e frɛ na Anthony Moke or ye spokesperson for UTV on dey tia kan grofo na bom wo station ayi grounds one me na me jemo UTV anka grofo na bom wo grounds wo say mo nka no korɛ Anthony Moke na mo friend why na man be here fix the country spokesperson by way a strategy ye ni ye bi me se me ni hopes in adoye mo na ye bi ye kotena mimusa se adwuma na na ne adie ye shada set agenda ne ya kase ya manipa ne PRO ya ma mo mfra akwa we akwa ne ba no abeye MPP de anka moti asem ase mo fa nche na de Captain Smart kan egbeshi the Captain Smart kan biaro we stand by it. Yeah, you can say, Abrante ever say, Oliver, I can't be, we stand by it. The American be stand by it. Ubian can't UTV for some friend to Mokebia, Emekase, or Anai, Mofanche, Yan Fanche, Obasamo Coco Tamfanco, or to the Sabio Nipaniguo. Yanko, and then Menoka say, medical catcher by 1976, Nagana generated power to the tune of 3,970 megawatts. And the total power generation for this country, the total generation power for this country is about 4,000, 4,000. It's not, that means from 1976, based in there, you for even more than 1,500 in Kaya megawatt. And that's when I give you leadership, no. Your papa, leadership from 1992. Ebesine. Corner from 1992. Besine. How many megawatts? Ediaka ho. Catch up some mommy and you name anymore. But you see, Akosombo Dam now Kwame Nkrumah SCNI the biggest investment in Ghana's history. No, when you see do what see, $200 million. And then another dan kwa kufa so he has $200 million in it. No, they are cathedral. It's imagine say Kwame Nkrumah kwaji $200 million, you know, every World Bank ne vaco for her, be see cathedral and yasam et say ya kama some yanka. We are talking about real leadership. Awaji yanko ne yanko she ya kwan. Yatimi atra omai ma omai ne ye kwan ya sapete kwan. The two major cities in this country, Kumasi, Accra Main Road, we have not been able to dualize it. Akwanya wo man ye namso akwanya wo man namso e ka mo se me kan ma soma mo political langas for say abronye kotubigum ko distorte osu be pa kotubigum ko distorte me say I throw a challenge to all the youth amu MPP nianism. We should have a debate on why you think that this constitution must be upheld. Sa constitution we You've been told it's a constitution there. Yantungu constitution akasi yantungu was violently. Wanna you two? Obi atutu. Was violently. It means yakasi ebe yusu a lawful means and the assign constitution ebe timi yusu. Require ni panamso. From 1992, the bias akwan we obeko green bookum, ebeko aye blue bookum, ni aye kwan no require ni panamso. Leadership into me planning ya kwan ebe 50-60 years. Adentia. Because sa kwan no mo ye na di 50-60 years a wo mo nya kwan emfa mo contract ni di. It was mashada. It is an intentional thing. Omo shada no mo create problem. Motorway me no ka say light na da bia enso no omo shada no mo dum no. You are fixing motorway street light more than 20 million times. Omo shada ko twaja to ase. Ade be che wo se grofo bi gina ho de crane esi ho aso omo ye ni etutu bob. Ade che ya na da daily graphic mo tender. Motorway street light there. Hey, ye ni ate de ekoso Ghana we know. Instead see the kwan be ma eye professional eye engineer no aye no omo farmer ne da party boys. And ade we na mpanimfo aye wa for so many years. Yeah, no more small political langas and they hope in Adoya ne Osubempa or Mufri aye netua no moko aye wuntumi. They are political langas. Ade we ni yebi. Me say me no mo na na ye. And o mine first Ghana first. Mon kano kure ade na mon kano kure sa kuru we mu. Boga se ejimi on. Mon kano kure Osubempa ma me akosu abno aso o message ma. O se me kan che o se wani mu fiansa afinchi, but that is on a lighter side. Utimi hwehwe obi akruwe mu hwekwan ya nipa nam so abaje fieko ajenko toku Madina Boche Road fieko hwe ekwan ya nipa nam so in the capital city wenya krabo akota o anya pusiga o nya tumu jakeche o anya hwa ya bobo ana atwanim nyansan we enkran mon kanokure we enkran Madina Boche Road when na maybe omofra East Legon Hills na we enkran link to eyetama sa kwa we mafasoda be the 3 hours answer na me do nkran na ya tikroma say motorway say ya na yakofa beauty municipals na kwa me nkroma ya motorway no the beauty municipals na eyeye on the concrete any iron rods na eyeye and wo dwene hunu say di 50 years na nchiri mababe motikroma abobosi abo enso nchiriment mi me enjoy nioma na mode bosia na ye no on kan okra mu forever hey Osubempa, come on, stop that thing. Me say ye ne mo be kokro we mu, we will fight you. Adai mo be the system bi e mam nko mu sika di jafunyafo we ba no abedi bi na ye ti koma man politicians ti mi kan in our face say wadi kakra ye koni asu ebedi bi ne ye dwen say ye normal. Politician to me air call election I was say boys go chop, girls go chop, and everybody go chop. We are normal. Are we crazy? Is that how we build a nation? About the family kwa schools under trees. You kept flooding in this country from 2000 and 1957. Yabia shotwa akra yiri. As at 1909, na ko 14 nuase and eco school. And they me no work as a Crawford and suit nuase co school in 21st century. And everybody think I am normal, we should keep quiet. Because oka egu aban animase. Now aban egu animase na eye better than say we mine Crawford. This is human right abuse. O kan enya journalist for Tibon koso for journalist e busa say ne say China o ma develop there Paul Kagame we develop there na so no human right abuse nonsense. Which human right abuse? Human right abuse be na chance nkola igu nua sisua de about it. And we've been paying lip service to serving this country by saying we are eliminating schools under trees. We are eliminating schools under trees. And so amobua they are not eliminating nothing. Wow, school nipa da seniba kom. Now see the democratic because ye makwan mankrofo be keka nsem hunu e wo media mu no mo say Ghana nkola na dwene imisi ye makwan ma monye sa we wo de hwe o me da ko cookie story media ba anu akatachie wa ye say anu hey stay focused mo nyina mo ntie hayi a strategy. It's an old political trick. Ready nipa ko school. E wa bra mo sesa mo manyina ko gu US in the UK. At the expense of the poor taxpayer. What's me yankasa? You people should stop that thing. We will fight you. Yani abreu. Also ben pane home senator ye mu yani abre munya sa agro na madin over the we agro na madin over the years. Me say you can and I senator ye atekretre. Wano kura de quote constitution kura nye de atekretre. Home senator, stop that thing. You are my brother, stop it. You know Pastor Yeminuya, stop it. Awaje from 1976 flooding in Accra in Kumasi. Yenhwe over the years. Capital city. For more than 30 years there be show to a yiri. Near to only a lip service. A catch us on pending for solve problem. Ewa abra America UK na ye pesi yes omo no almost solve problem. Omo tenase dwene efre engineers enya party boys. Near the contractor mo. My engineers need create a problem solving, a long lasting solution to our problems. Yet, yes, a quarter or donor, and we use $1 million in the quarter or donor. I never change your better sapphire. There be a knee jerk reaction to solving problem. And somebody Kuma say we should not talk. Hey, listen. You cannot put us in double jeopardy. If you are not serving the country, you should allow us to cry and wail. Efiri me na tente ene Kumasi abeka ho flood ne Kumasi abeka ho ani eto ma we mu na politician there be ananadmofo say ananadmofo listen, stop that thing and serve the people. Flood ne wo Kumasi e solvable kwasi broni ntena say there be yaye ho kokose chiman there be ebesi yedan yenko ne hwe enanu nsuo toye 2015 June 3rd. A communipa no less than 150. But after all, Ghana hampering for any power and yasem. Nanka nipa wu na yasema. Aki etimitina ha a day. Emma aka mienu crashe. Enipa more than 130 ni wu ye. Ewo kuma kintampo. Na president entimia issue press statement kura. Cause normal. Yakwa yaka dualize the road, Moshana munisika, mo former private individuals, no mun develop it, no mun tenure for a period of 50 to 70 years. Yagone, munya sama, makwate, roads and highways, the papa we have a tour, nada be a casa. We are fixing the country. We are cutting that. Hey, you are not in touch with reality. After all, Achem Road, you know, say, ma fix it. Do you think that is what Ghana is all about? Awaje fame kwani anhwe eye ma egu from war hospitals yen kwani enkohwe ma egu from wo na mpanifo we tena krom ha de omo pe no omo ye okoka omo se menka hey listen me say you will solve the country problems about time egu from wo in modern day Ghana 21st century the can't fix the country amusi munim de now see we should begin to find a African solution to our African problems mom ya nwene kakra. Mohani ani sika ede ba koto bed a ye rolling man basro a adwene mra ye tirim se a carpenter for mra enua na we ye kire ha yi latest form wo ha ash form wo ha mon sha se entwetwa bi ne afa nya bed to e far better than say be ma about time na wo form enso da sani per hospital ne contract agie akokra bes aba no anya bia hye de botomti o me anyusu sa adwene we in any case say e training na apese erezi a Ghana me ayi carpenter for ebetimi aye bed e erezi ni ti eje fa better than say apata hwe we will be na da form a hwe what the rubber bag so the rubber bag so in 21st century you come ne banada in China. This is a human right abuse. No one your political langas no mo di diame o su bempa wo di diame peche hope sinadoye Mrs. Aviator se mo ya we Don't do that. Me know me do nyina before 2016 na adwuma papa bia nu ayeye. Me mo se ekotena wa na sika bia nu nsam. Ene waba wanya kakra. It is okay. Ye nyina no sabio ye bobra ko ekoyanim. Ene wutibi ka kire Ghana mrantie se momfo hia nkan kwase asem. Hey. Ghana mrantie ne maba wa na omoyire no mu wo fom no se mo mfu nkan wa magene nkire wo. Hwabata ya wo fom. 21st century. Yakwaka mo se mienka because Nanado was so finding solutions, African solutions to African problems. I mean, come on, imagine. Uni abeni. Umamini. Akabepene. Umamini na uni abeni akabepene. China man in Crawford ngu ofom ba omakwan man Crawford me cancel hunu in the media. It was him human right. Rwanda man and Crawford ngu ofom Rwanda man and Crawford ko school nuase but omakwan man Crawford say hope sinado ye ne osu bempamo me cancel hunu in the media. It was a abuse of human right. I will prefer that abuse of human right any day any time to say a bad time ba wo ofom. Etrahama Europe for they decided what human right is. Let me cocoon a ye Gaddafia or no trans developing the kura. Now we are Kola Yawo Nekura or down the hono. Yet me cocoon so abuse human right. Nonsense. And I'm going to say human right and see a Makwaman say no echo media media phone canokure. Politician and man kakran and yaji media, you don't know the power of the microphone. A bad time war from Mosemianka. Nkwala ko school. Ewo for Mosemianka. E di mochi aho. Me say metro challenge say. Metro challenge. Ye be ma Ghana for kwan momra meka bi. Ene awa ha Farouk ewa ha. International diplomatic consultant wa bene ye Ghana ha me say na adwene mu do e champanifo ni bebre. Aso ya fa na nya adwuma every so nya MPP and this system. About international relations, say Sabio, yenye diplomacy, unimunyansa chembebre, as you have had in Jajuma. And I mean, didn't come up. The way forward for this country, where we are coming from, the direction. China fought Tenase for over 70 years. They had a direction and they followed. Or maybe I developing all the Asian tigers, Hong Kong, China, Japan, all of these people, they had a direction. This country, we don't have a direction and we sit here, we allow anybody to come. You manifest on ye, positive change. Why, better Ghana agenda, we have no disimunu, near her. You see, change the constitution as on Tiasia. We did look at the chief for Mensa. As Santiago na yoko hine, sa yoko hine, so on Tiasia machirumu. Bear to me, I am a nondescript radical reformer. The one that bears the spirit of our forebears, I fear no evil. Madam Waba, Eba. Ye be nante na so aba be kan wage ne kosi da be na mbija sansem hunu we e ba isi a.
Peace of mind is very essential in your journey to success. For Akwesi Papa, peace of mind means having a proper covering over his family. Literally. For Araba, aka Injection Mama, it's about having the funds to complete her advanced nursing course. And as for Corporal Odami, it's as simple as reporting on time for his shifts. Sometimes all you need is a simple push. At Needs Microfinance, we have tailor-made loan packages for salaried workers under the Controller General's Department. With the low interest rate and quick wahala-free process, you are guaranteed of a timely solution to get back that peace of mind, literally in 30 minutes. Microfinance, growing with you.
If I cry na menyisika, etia ye mefui.
Ehin fa na menya bosia, edia tre medwuma yimu.
Kai cry mabre, me bosia ato taxi fufu. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yema mwakwa baba Sohum Rural Bank. Ye won hyehyɛ ahodoɔ bi te sɛ dwadifo abosia, ekuokuo bosia, susu account, and it does all savings account. Me bada chain savings account, and then the keka ho. First Sohum Rural Bank was 034229186. Now one so what to me aka say.
Sohum Rural Bank. Ama ene mayeka una.
Sohum Rural Bank. Enti me pa minie.
Me damwase.
Sohum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Right, but I saw that so Abra now so on TV XYZ. Aha, me Okatachi Afrifa Mensa ana yedin komo. Mene Ora Al Wahab Farouk Awaye international diplomatic consultant wa bini ye. And go for friend walking encyclopedia. Minim de tia o mokanasa papa kwawa. Na bibia boko de. Ishia yacho.
My busy, more fix the country.
Me lawyer na me go say o mo go ka se mi ntia o mo say me trousers na te na me lawyer na say na say trousers in so nation nim it just fix the country that means fix the country na fix the trousers in so ka now fix the country what in actually what so far said here esiko and now no demonstration e call ye what the we say politics any diplomacy achi ache you know the dynamics especially in this country where we are coming from. What do you make of the agitation from the youth and what you saw with the Fix the Country?
Okay, Mami Chairman, what here for?
Joseph.
That's the first time I made my studio.
It's
a very nice studio. As normally I'm in town out to PPP, but I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing here.
Senior.
Straight to the point. But said, Fix the Country, if I should call it a concept, and I say a slogan be the youth of this country, including yourself, and will develop here to drum home their Ghana for youth, what they expect,
right,
and how the country should be, call it, governed. And I say, dear youth, and if you say, oh, in your home,
right,
in my candid view, and yet Adiboni, to sit back and then make the government or the presidency or governance, leadership, they are where say in the course of country anymore. And to be a changes in the concept itself, the appraisals, man who say Adiboni. The packaging has a little bit of a problem, kakra.
Okay.
Which of course, Ghana youth and Ghanaians nankasa noted and used to demonstrations.
Right.
So notably, now there problem beba. And I said small skirmishes beba. But notwithstanding, I think say it was very in the right direction. Question as to whether some of the youth or the greater youth, really understood Diana Moyeno. It's also another question. But in any long journey, we start from somewhere.
Right.
So I would say most start from baby. And as time graduates and improves, maybe people will come to understand. And I say the youth in Ankasano ebeti asemnase. Now, who is the youth and who is a youth? In my description internationally, youth is not only when we are talking about political youth activism in politics. Necessarily is not Obia or 18 to 36 years bracket.
Right.
But youth is somebody who embraces also the idea, anybody or embraces the idea of empowering a youth or transferring power to a youth of the country or engaging them also to partake the democratic, not only democracy, the building of the nation, economically, socially, etc. Will be all that kind of a spirited habit,
right,
character, who you, in your mind, is part of the youth agenda. But in Ghana, youth, the mindset in to say students be over school, and I say under the bracket of bare 35 years. Now, young share the youth, our country we see over the years. Post-independent Ghana engage youth in anything. post-independent Ghana. Ghana, you engage youth.
You engage youth in anything.
In anything.
But 1979, now youth in lead your mind.
Well, that one you're talking about, revolution take over.
Okay.
And then when the revolution took over, and you're talking about the youth quickly turned around and then transferred power to the old political class again.
Okay.
1979.
1979,
yes.
81.
81.
When J.J. Rollins near Hoyes,
yes.
money adeno, ebayeno.
Yes.
They transferred power back to the old.
Yeah, the youth, J.J. Rollins and others, Akatapori and others, and you're talking age as age, okay?
Right.
But when they transferred power, Rollins himself made sure that he gave power to also the elderly people. DF, Annan, and all those, PV Obem, said that they were not in that youthful bracket per se.
Right.
But that was not the time Ghana transferred, if you are talking about power to the youth. It was done in a champion's time. SMC, Supreme Military Council, won. A champion did the revolution. Not Rollins was the first Ghanaian to do stage revolution or the youth here. No. A champion's revolution, stage 1, SMC 1, was with youth. So when the generals at the time, major generals, colonels at the time, a champion was then a colonel, but he elevated himself to colonel because he himself and the people that they had the SMC. No, under sergeant, your friend is saying, ranks. Into a SMC 1 youth no ruling the country with the youth. The generals, major near the said, we cannot sit down and let these boys lead us. And to retire from the army. And the champ will be naked. And Tebeka champion in the youth, and or conduct a lot of laws. And a champion, in my view, his revolution at that time, yes, revolution aside, because he knew democracy, I don't support. But Osha and Yaman and Koni youth, at that time now, it was very okay. So these elderly, the old ones who resigned from a champion's SMC 1, and Omgangeya, Omkwa SMC 2 by engaging the Kufu.
FWK Kufu.
Yes. And even they staged how the coup took place.
That is 78.
Yes.
Somewhere around May.
May.
Okay.
Almost staging, Ekachi champions okay. Youth your friends say generals in Oma retiring in ye pese no shia. So meeting a Kufu was his number 2, never taught him and as he had any idea say or for 2 and also for BB. And in the colleague now come to where no the salmon. And that was how the coup was simple. Not even a Koko Bakra Yankuno.
Palace School.
Palace School. So the SMC 1 was youth. Far younger than even Rollins revolution in 79.
Okay.
And then SMC 2 collected back all those old people.
And gave it back to the old people.
And gave it back to old people. So Jerry also coming to start. When he also staged with the coup, Dila Ejua, and then all those things. He went out of the youth rank and went then and brought
the old folks
to come. So the country has a little bit of a fun history. Generally, Ghana engaging youth in politics, engaging youth in giving ministerial appointment. Ask you, say, what have you invested in that person to do with his youthful exuberance? And then if youth is referred to age. The youth in their core Ghanaian politics post Fourth Republic and then move from Rollins' time. Rollins are engaging too much of the youth in his ministerial ranks, if you have to call it, from the 1992.
92.
No. Now, look around. How many youth were part of Rollins' government? They weren't too much. But then leading that to President Kufuor, who also started engaging some in their late 39s, early 40s. That was when it was considered, say, youth enter Ghana politics. At 40 years, no. 40 years advanced country, you're an old politician. Leading to that, President Mills, Ebayeno. And number 5, some 30 years, 35. Yes. And then President, yes. Now, I'm asking this question. The youth that went into Ghana politics at the time.
Okay.
Up to today that we are speaking, generally, MPP, NDC, those youth, how far have they injected their youthism, their exuberance, any almost strength, any energy, how far have they impacted the life of the Ghanaian youth? The youth that were politicians on the campuses, those who were engaged in the TAIN and TESCOM that you are talking about, when they were back, respective universities across the country, youth, they got the chance to form government or to be part of government at the age of 35, 32, 33. Are they not the same youth who today are speaking like an old people, ancient and medieval men and women? It is the political philosophy and ideology. So they go in there and marry that ideology or marry that philosophy of the ancient or the old system of the Ghana political structure.
So they go by the same playbook now.
Because the mindset of the country, and say, if you are coming into government in any country, a developing nation, which used to be one we call it third world, graduated from third world to developing because you claim say what you made to mobile income. Nesse Selano party comes to power, NDC comes to power, MPP comes to power with one Bible called Party Manifesto, and that is the Party Manifesto. And what they rule the country out. No country can ever, you cannot survive. No government can survive. There is a contest between a party manifesto and then a national agenda document.
Okay.
The national agenda document, which is called Developing a Nation, enhancing on its economic, freedoms, and then also making sure there's a liberation of the economy. There's a liberation, not democratic liberation.
National Development Agenda,
yes.
Documents, but before that, youth, what do you think they can do to be able to move away from some medieval mindset of Yanko by the same playbook? Now, made the same thing.
Okay,
what can be done?
In terms of numbers,
fix the country demonstration. Thousands of people.
Okay.
I can put a figure to it.
Thank you. So those were Accra and Kwa. If there were easy, free transportation, etc., accommodation, and at the whole nation, I will be able to make up the numbers. But we are talking about Accra. I can call it, let's say, a successful campaign. A successful campaign. Youth ne koyen. Na mimi say. Uhu emrewafo anu mukura walking stick and I say papa form kra debi youth meboa. Now the Ghanaian youth bracket in terms of numbers na population numbers who are 18 to 36 years we are almost more than 53%. 53% quietly they've succeeded, let's say, a government, or they contributed election or selection of a leader of a country. 53% of the Ghanaian youth. Now, this 53% of the Ghanaian youth, Omwane support all these parties. MP in the area, and Yamirafo and the district Aba and Yadumachi, a question for. Get it very clear. The same Ghanaian youth, including you, including myself, I'm not a youth, but I'm still a youth in terms of thinking. Are you getting me? Now, sa youth, engagement, the engagement with the political system, called the democratic dispensation, if you say you democratizing. But instead of democratizing politically, we are still not considering the economic liberation and creating wealth. And I'm saying, the youth in the country, when they do all this old political system, who engineers the politicians, who beats for them, who fights for them, who are the people now, Omoko Anajo, Ekobu opponents, either say or bono candidate, and I say oh Makwan, a certain constituency chairman be for youth. So the misunderstanding of the Ghanaian youth itself, they are in confused state because as you move free campaign, they all went back to their constituencies.
Right.
They all went back to their constituency. Omu MPB awaba area ho. So you collected 50 Ghana cedis from an MP and followed him to do, excuse me, quote unquote, nonsense. Our bun call for, our intimidating call for to win elections. Almost 50 Ghana cedis. And RG and Akoya Sadian. Now we are in the power, no turn the parliament in my Land Cruiser. Then you turn around, or say, Wama Wajuma, and I say, yes, he has paid you. He has paid you. So what is your beef? So now back to the normal practice and normal standards, what the Ghanaian youth fail to do or what they are still failing to do. Bringing a case scenario of Ahmed Abiy of Ethiopia. Ahmed Abiy was just one under 40 years, close to 40, and Obey, Prime Minister of Ethiopia. Ahmed Abiy was a revolution leader, a rebel, a terrorist at the age of 15 or in Ethiopian revolution, in Ethiopian a terrorism act. No, come. But Onya Kwine appear free Ethiopia. He went to school, came back, and Oman in Sasso said, what the politicians are doing to this country, the old benevolence and co, the old political system, I'm a youth of Ethiopia, yebre, yehu job, yehu creation of job, etc. And yen share wanted party. So he took advantage of NDC MPP, the opposition, and then the ruling incumbent government, and was standing in the middle. And was youth in their numbers, Dawson, and indeed, every country in Africa, the youth have the bigger population. Look at Nigeria, over 60% a youth bracket. And when he stood in more or less like an independent, quietly, because they showed and demonstrated, say indeed their life is being affected, and they are tired. Is that what Ghana youth, you guys are doing? Ghana youth is not doing that. Ghana youth is still, say, the MP Abani area. Now, then the Land Cruiser Bisio, no Jan in Chen 100. No, I catch and say, Munko Yui, Miniwa Moshesin, the same youth, Omejai, Ubisa Home, Obienjai.
In the past, people never saw say Bibisa Betimiasi. Now, after a year demonstration, you pull such numbers without say a year MPP, NDC, Obia Mobia Sika, Obia Fabasa Mobia, na yet me pull such numbers. Baby, I would say, do you see say Ghana is heading somewhere with a year the change we so much seek for?
Okay. At a point, some of us were getting a bit lost.
Okay.
And off track as really the direction of the youth. Obekaya, most started the agenda to stage the Fix the Country demonstration. The government did all what it could.
So,
which, of course, if I were to be the government, I would have also applied the same strategy. How? To reduce the pressure of the day. Because at that time, no, there had been other incidents. It is not an issue of corona, it's not an issue of security, it's not an issue of protection. In any case, Mokoya youth, Mokoya demonstration, why was the corona? The corona was still with you guys. How many were wearing even nose masks? None. So a contest again between what the police said and what they finally allowed you people to stay. Because at that time, no, the government had managed to cool down the pace. Now, sitting back, you people at that time, the youth, the government allow, in my view, was the fact that there were then politicians from the opposition and let's say the political divide, others, almost started to almost kasa, supporting the agenda of the youth. And I find it, I'm sorry once again, nonsensical. Because whoever spoke in support, and the person happened to be a politician, they have been there before. NDC, you were in government 16 years.
You were there.
All of them. So you don't take advantage of the youth preparation. Namo Mestati, of course, that engineers and that angers the government, which was quite right. That engineered and angered the government also to come out strongly with the communication to diffuse the agenda and call it nonsense. Which in any case, politically, it was very apt. Practically, it was not also to be the case. Because of the involvement of so-called politicians in this country from the opposite divide, not only NDC, but the other political structures. Because, if you have the chance also to rule the country 16 years, then I'll ask you, what did you do to the Ghanaian youth? How well did you take them along? And how well did you empower the youth? So-called, quote-unquote. You didn't create any agenda. They are still going through the stupid National Service Security system, which in my case I call it completely nonsense. So Obaka intervention fee of 560 Ghana salary. Next we go back to the road. Akoton doctrine. Obaka back graduate or kwa kosua efunu no the asani atua ne car. What is the national service seeking to attract the youth?
Mene eye owura awa ha Faruka mene ni nyina na enyini wo eye Osuame nkramum. In fact Osuame nkramum na ye katwi ne eye Hausa. But all of a sudden international diplomatic relations the way officer mame akosi amene wa eti wo rebro for ne pa edi ye besere se obematwi no ayemo. E be say high abra na aso nkomo. Once abra na aso so ame ekokunto fi ho no. Sana na edi no ye ka ne chi. Messages na aba bebre but ye bebusa owura awa Farouk, baby, are you free by as a nation? Where we heading to? National Development Plan. Adia a Constitutional Review Commission report. Ekachere yese yenye. Professor J.E. Mills time was set up a Albert Kojo Fejo report. And omu make proposals on National Development Plan. Bebre, but on my way, for the last 11 years, almost now moving back, you're wrapping up on the youth front and how we can take power away from quote unquote the elderly, the medieval mindset people. What would you advise the youth to do?
One, the youth must identify and recognize the importance of homo participation and omdibe governance. How do you do that? The Kwambe na befa sobe. E Kwambe befa sobe and say, now the youth, sa musimu nya jumanye, and the cry, and the problem there. You must also now not sit down say, you to imagine how encourage microphone on the podium on the days, and may campaign, MSYs and catch and say, no more fetch we. Youth imagine how say, so Obino, a minister. Obina be constituency whatever and as well be MP area. You too must not follow say nipa na ba near be toilet. Na mu dinachi, na mu healing ye. That is not what a youth supposed to do. What the youth supposed to do is very simple. The country which we are going to go, the directions of Ghana. This country post-independent, yen create wealth. Yen create wealth and now man affected the youth. The country has never created wealth. So more demonstration, the youth, which of course we are supporting. Demonstration, you know, which are placards, and near Mamo Trey, and near Mamo Kayano. For me, critically, it is not fixing a country. Fixing a country, yes. No country has completely been fixed throughout the world. You keep on fixing a country. So you cannot end up fixing a country. But then fixing the economy should be your next agenda. But what I say, fixing the economy is the next agenda. Creating wealth for a country is what it has. Ebema or minor, the way we know if the country has enough wealth, ya sika, ya create ya sika. Papa, that is the only problem our country is facing. Into the youth involvement, you know, young for politics, you know, any the political speech, and I address you and address your colleagues and address the conveners, any leaders, and say, when you have the chance and the power to stand and preach to the masses, anything that borders on politics at this very point, anything that borders on politics, please, more and more energy, and call the economy, and call the wealth a country will create. Developmental agenda, no, eba naturally, automatically, the country no nisika or the yenejuma. Employment follows up easily, automatically, the country no one nisika or the yenejuma. And now the youth mindset, and they say, my message in say, your involvement, and now mo share government team. I like it say ukofa the politics of the youth, our universities and tertiary institutions. It's so sad. Sad in the sense say, Ghana Institute of Journalism, they are having an upcoming politics, SRC elections. Yes, when you talk to them, Nani Bikwa, it's so sad. So a whole political party, both opposition parties, any the incumbent government, etimi yi sika yi nipa, efa sebia omo infuse no more support. Is it different from Legon? Legon parties they decide who becomes the political.
What is the whole rationale?
The whole rationale behind is that the youth, I'm sorry, are stupid. They take money and follow them. Because independently, Ghanaian youth and all over the world, youth are independent because you are graduating outside. You are graduating to go to the world. Now ya be catch you say at all costs. Ye say the finance leader, the financial what and what woman one party two benyan the 10 or the task commander say the SRC no ubons acquire one political group. And you know no me free more woman abe joining NDC and MPP. Is that not the same group? Is that not the same group? Has it stopped and stop here? And to you the youth now no change that kind of.
I think the Omoye here with Tescon and Tain for SRC elections.
Yes.
In the 70s, in the 80s.
Yes.
Not the youth front and very tough. Nooks and SRC people will get to the street agitating. Yet to my way for 2 years you see a change the curriculum of education. But Yemfa textbooks are meeting the new curriculum and you are not getting the youth front, the leadership of the universities, to agitate say we need new textbooks. Now even your textbooks are this year there were Legon. You share baby to say Harvard, Cambridge, Oxford. Or more books are or more new. So we are agitating for government to bring a new one. Was that the rationale? See a bit breaking the strength of the student front?
Yeah, because the point is very much, pretty much, about curriculum and education system. My youth demonstration now, I didn't hear much, and I didn't see more of the placards. And they address the issue of education. That is the key that affects the youth in this country. You know why? Like you rightly said, the Ghana education system seeks to give you school. It does not seek to educate you. Amount education, amount the abilities to read and write, but the thinking which is called the education, that one, that story, that topic, was not the biggest deal. And to judge the education, say students are not. Every student be now high dying. Every student baby I said be unjari kwan wetimanya school because of hostel awada. Those issues and many others. Those issues and many others, including say the youth no be school. Na ekwan ayakayaka de na atetia omkomo national service scheme, and I'm referring to both NDC and PP. Say omufa youth no do omkwa e den na youth to be a national service scheme. Say any other Ghana National Lotteries or whatever, and also wako Ghana Foreign Ministry. And then the youth know omako hakusia. Sanya many nyina were the package which one expected say it should be the concern. Say how ye treaty omu ye fabi share that purposely for your university and waba upgradement of Obesua BB to support the national development and national agenda. That is the idea. But obako a man especially ye best man manakoto yes, toasted tomatoes, granite, and only a daily routine. A man at the same time, the boss will be or calling my mere you are then call papa you are then beko. With the feeling, say, we are very retaining. It is our national service. Let's say embrace 200 to 300 students, 1,000 students a year. Now at the end of the season, when Timan fa imu a quarter, not even 200. And what is the purpose? Who are national service, the youth again? Not a more call demonstration. Yes, military, yes, police, national security, and your friend is immigration, need those kind of civil and public services. Share your recruitment drive. It's supposed to be the National Service Secretariat. The numbers, it releases figures. Edema military. The government, customs and others, so that the national service scheme will parachute. Now, what the numbers and what graduating numbers with that quote unquote master list, call it protocol list. But if that is what the structure is supposed to be, or it was done that way, the youth, and yet so much say or call national service scheme, do you understand me? That issue is supposed to be some of the agenda. And then case youth, a power home, their education. The loan, their country needs can amount loan to that extent. But the education curriculum now working. Youth, we should not think of only the bracket of I've called it, but and cry more 9 years. And cry no more 9 years. Now all co school up. Ne bag a bonachi. And in the books, watch Archimedes. Me about 7 years, I mean, in a free room, Hano. Ni books or the co school was about 20 kilos. Meanwhile, me ban a slim boy like me, 90 kilo bear 25. It was a balanced. What did I mention? All those things, you know, Yanka. Okay, on the front of lecturers, shall the lecturers the young Ghanaian youth on campuses.
Some of them are administrative tyrants.
So one taught the leaflet, the pamphlet, or catch your direct will be fail you. Meanwhile, I find the pamphlet. No economic theory of Paul A. Samuelson in the early 19th. I don't know, no, I printed or the man was it. Did the youth talk about that one? No. So
it means say bet me much more better moving forward with the agitation.
And then the last thing I add to that
is development.
Yes, a bit enter. The last time I can say youth, please, an advice. Ghana Farmers Association, demonstration, red. Cross,
right.
Ghana Tomatoes Association, the same thing. Ghana TUC, the same thing. Ghana Teachers Association, the same thing. Ghana whatever association will be a demonstration. Red. I'm telling you today, say the youth demonstration in any part of the world, you don't apply and follow the status quo because no Ghanaian president, no Ghanaian political leadership are afraid of red. Red here the quite year dada into Nyan Mama. Are you getting me? Red no almost share the quite year dada into who red and panicking. Seek to do orange revolution. That is what youth seeks to do.
Orange revolution.
Seeks to do white revolution.
Okay.
Seeks to do blue revolution. Some demonstration, no, some share all blue. The government will be looking at something different than NSC. Some share all orange. The country will start. Nasha red. Basi amiti amekwe ye red na mehu enyanwa. So therefore, if the Ghanaian youth wants to engage in something different, now create the same demonstration. Prototype of the TUCIA BBA. C'est un déjà vu.
Okay. Many our have Farouk, our Bene, Ebana, politics and international diplomacy. In fact, also I mean, Kramumu man, and I may also I mean Kramumu boy. You know, also I mean. And you didn't hold the free buy. Yamra back and we are coming all the way from 1919 when Sir Gordon Gorgesbeck a 25 years development plan. And so by 1927 now we're free ho. And be ni binya takra de habo kolebu ni nyina Sir Gordon Gorgesbeck. Right after that in 1957 Kwame Nkrumah came with a 7-year accelerated development project and also you too know yenya motorway nya Tema Township yenya the Golden Triangle yenya Pualugu tomato factory Zwalugu meat wine factory Kumasi jute factory na and you too no free on 1972 in fact 1970 to 72 1969 time wa General Kwesi Amankwa free famo eba besi 72 ya answer de hunu match ye moving forward a champion ba ye ono so ba be ye ono ane de ye policy a champion ba ye obe ne de capturing the commanding height of the economy whatever JJ Rollins ba ye be introduce economic reform policies and one structural adjustment program ekofa pamscard in the keke ka ho bai omampani kufo bai or the ne de bai hepic e de ko say you say so it looks like aban bia ba or no one a political agenda whatever no aba no aban ne de no okọ. Meanwhile when you look like the Asian tigers, the China, the Hong Kong, the Japan, all of these people, not even in Africa, Botswana, every country that develops, you know, or more a roadmap, I call it the National Development Plan. Ghana, do we have one? Where are we coming from and where are we going?
Okay, let me take you back not too deep, but then I'll start from Nkrumah's time.
Right.
From Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who gave, let's say, independence to this country.
Okay.
In 1957, March, okay? So if Nkrumah Kuno are completely still condemn it. However, Sena Nkrumah ewoho etwaswa at the time in our country no deplete sika a cash stock nesan he would have also performed bad. Because post independence in most of the African countries and of the world, Omuji independence in UAE, they went back. Say, British man left Ghana in 1957 near a cash stock, which was far bigger than the economy and the size of economy of even Canada i.e. New Zealand. The 4 Commonwealth, no, English, creat English in England, no, near bigger cash stock, no, eso. So we had money. Mbajwa as en enti ye buy nkroma buy no. Hwe eniema the concentrations much as it did best. There were also challenges, say. The slogan of the say total independence for the entire Africa. I heard them say obinya on no problem. But ye way of spending and how Ghana at that time, a population post independence, you're not near more than 4 million. So look at the money that Ghana had at the time of 57. Now an economy now graduated in terms of population, so I graduated do over 30 million plus. No? So I shall quite fast so BC. Some of us, we've had the chance to travel about 54 out of the 56 mainland African countries. We've had the chance to travel over 43, no, almost from southern Andorra to Petersburg in Russia, almost everywhere in Europe. We've had the chance to travel Asia and worldwide, so we can compare and then do contrast. Monsieur say, Ghana Niama, this country a year out with the cash of Ghana. Building of Guinea, your own ministerial blocks at that time Ghana you sue in Riadan as ministries. The biggest building in Algeria, Ages, Ghana House. If it was to be a hotel, it could take more than 5,000 to 10,000 people a night. It was Ghana's money. The building of Nkrumah Flats in Egypt, it was Ghana's money. The building of Metropole Hotel in Romania, Metropole Hotel in Poland was with Ghana money. The building of Kenneth Kaunda Zambia University was with Ghana money. When Kenneth Kaunda Zambia University was built, Tech was not any university in Legon. In terms of physical structure. And to Ghana, you soon Nisika. And Ghana at that time, I'm saying this for the mistakes we've done over the years. I am Percy correcting. Ghana had a dream and developed the idea, say, Yabeye OAU. Yan did the creations, the creator of the OAU was Dr. Nkrumah. Bisawon say, and again, Ghanaian politician, and then you created OAU near the capital, Kosi Addis Ababa. OAU capital Addis Ababa Ethiopia Airline, which is one of the most finest in the world, which is one of the most economic lucrative airline in the world because of the hub of the OAU. Was it not to unify the continent? Unify the continent. The dreamer must start from his home. You unify the continent. What they call Horo, Heli Salas, what they call Komano, a gang and a young also. Who notices you? You don't have Ethiopia Airline, but he has. Koshe say if there is a British Airways and Ghana Airways. Yes, away. That means someone say no. Thank you very much. I'm saying, say, a lot of things that we led. I'm not bastardizing anything that he did because at that time, no, they were just too fragile. No one need too much experience. Now, but watch at time of the independence man Kromano. Our man, the British in so free Kromano, our pen, application, apply visa nebra. Yes, history will tell you, say, Oma espele British for Momukugu Dakar and a Royal Army befa Umdomukwese. Omunkonom kwa apply no Ghana. Omobano. They came as former Ghanaian workers. It will come in as former Ghanaian workers. The Queen then and the British Prime Minister then told them, say, so Mbaye Juma de Amunchi social service. That time, I won't train one accountant. That time, I won't train anybody called accountant and we're more perfect. And to a man, a sabaye, and I'm on entry. So I'm calculating social security no uncle. And they knew the amount of Ghana that was in British Bank in London. And I'm calculating social security no scanning in an the coin. That is why Ghana started losing our cash stock. So post independence, all con one for kuku nanko. All con when Timan for diamond, no. Do we are quite what the quarter? When Timan to assassin uncle. One for gold nanko. Timber non fan koye. Diamond non koye. Bauxite one fan ko UK. Man get this in coin. Nina ukrumha. Now, what did you do? Or what are you doing with it? So the point is that England to today, London, Britain, are a service nation because they were Yesika, when Yesika were Juma. And in Sikano, or they're running services into one farm because we need raw material be our hano. Ultimate tax. Now, an African country, every commercial volume, or raw material will be a commercial volume. Ultimate add cash stock. One. It is all catch me. I'm very well versatile in economics because I was an economic student before jumping into diplomacy. So catch me say, adding value, the value chain, all those kind of economic jargons and theories. You can never add any value over here, whereas you have a buyer who gives you money as a syndicated loan? And I'm referring to cocoa. Switzerland and the Unisika. Cocoa ne maya no na ono amosika. Se cocoa ni season ba fa cocoa na oto ne breme. Ghana cocoa farmers so mu nyina yare no ma nko. Budget nie. Say Ghanaian cocoa farmers all over the nation. Ghana cocoa farmer bia ne belt ate. O miasa ma belt nate. So umka say this year no cocoa. Chia me baby Ghana syndicated loan okoji no betua. What does it tell you? It tells you say this country we have never created wealth. This country has never attempted to create wealth. And the politician, president, both past, present and all comes to tell me, say, Ghana, obetima developer from the stage, you know, whom say now, it is a capital lie.
What can say creating wealth?
Creating wealth means, say, one, what government might be seen being a farmer of a cocoa. The government might be seen as a miner of gold and diamond. Yanya budget surplus da, post-independence. When you be that. And how do you develop a nation? You develop a nation by going through your developing partners. Who developing partners in when? Holland on a help you interior, immigration, whatever. German a help you development and technology. Japan or a developing partner or help you development, technology and education. United States or help you defense, development and technology. The UK, who is your colonial master, and Canada. These are the permanent G6 countries are post-independent. There be our budget to Amfesika Mama Shemwa. Oda down. Na mibisa say South Africa best case scenario. Mandela nya kwamba government no aya kokra no abre. So he couldn't do much. Senko oha and he would have been a poor president by now. Because say abrofono at the cash stock. Omu mining gold. South African gold is not mined by any galamsey. Gold mining company be free all over the world. You know, Oko South Africa, you are going to mine on the concession. Abana was no nutun gold. Into Banwa Beshen yem. Into water bodies na bana na achi on water bodies. Ono na aye ni bibi adaho. Na utu gold no wahano. Ono inspector no nyina na ofield no so. Into utu wia or one percentage a wonim so the man sa na ode akọ. No achi okwan a ode be man. Ono abeji gold no asepo. Ode amount. Ye de ente sa. Wo wo de Broni to Italy. No a better concession ewo mukrum. Na concession no what 300,000. No a 50-acre plot. $300,000. A crazy for no the amano. Now wabaha. Now wo jene only the taxes now. All mano compliance letters. All man mining right authorizations in the and no sika would you $30,000 any here. Now Bruni na jo tikrum ha. Why registration of the land? We are not their court stock exchange. Land or 300,000 at the Australian Stock Exchange. At the DAX, at the FTSE. Now I turn $50 million within a matter of a month. So I'm saying, say, foolishly, can't we, yes, so ensure, yes, excavators, can't we our own as a country, say, gold in your fee, say, yenye resources as a second income earner. Yenya now Ghana government. Yenya to your good. Now we engage the youth, we engage the village, we engage the area, the catchment area. Now, Omamra politely, Mumfa Omajuma, where ye ensure Wajuma, where ye bashing, where ye washing, where ye we are trained at the same time, geological engineers practically on the ground. When ye be that, and to Brony now no to go down, when you so Mumfa go down Kubim, or Ton will crum her, and my other ones. Into Omon Beton capture big one, no my find means, while so customs and no port, no, what fine means no the cop. Now, Mimim Kodo. Minko to gold. Now, my country say, Minya 2%. Now, waji. Abra we need any means to measure. So you have not created wealth for your cocoa, a good. Now, cocoa. Ghana government, the match semi. Baby, the cocoa farm, a year 1 acre. A year 30, we need be. And what is individuals? Individuals. Now, you are more of a subsidized fertilizer. Subsidized fertilizer, that is not what a farmer needs. What government in La Côte d'Ivoire only what is called cocoa board. Countries home to only cocoa board. Our management, but share the Côte d'Ivoire cocoa board, a cocoa management. Omoye. Do I say a banana kasa cocoa farms, and why in cooperative farming? Enti kwenino awa asankore na say a jabeso ni adaden. Odia ni cocoa no. It is within the government catchment. Now what they did ni cocoa na mabano ye tua ne kakama. Now would you and what the car 70% syndicated loan? Would you 100% scan? What the cat Jimu 70 or Kwansu because would be your salary. But I do the idea say. It is can be 30%. As a nana fina be cocoa politics. Ubesi Kuafon. Said the first no me no way by $10 no man because you know nim scale. And no mu ma be pemne. And the Ghana cocoa farmer, onim namere. Ghana cocoa farmer, onim ne bani cake da. Ghana cocoa farmer ne bani chocolate da. But Ghana cocoa farmer ne ba person cocoa.
So we should have gone back to estate farms now and Nkrumah the
So that was what Nkrumah had the idea that any country that hasn't created wealth, you can never develop this country. Tell me, how do you go and borrow? What kind of father would you be? We get growth from Accra to Kumasi and Yaudia. Yama Sika, Chief Praso to her and Yaudia.
Fufusu Sola Road and Yaudia.
And Yaudia. Shamadia Bakwa Ghana so no in the bottom sika. Now a country that develops solely, enhance solely, a country that would need manufacturing, would need production. Now would be based on internally generated fund. You are a failed country. You are a failure.
But Nanadu came up with a year Ghana Beyond Aid.
Papa,
say maybe I be doing we need to. So
it is a fine political speech. I like it. That was fine political speech. I like it. And I like Nanado for that when it comes to political delivery. We're very top. But let us do practical application of that concept. Say Ghana Beyond Aid. How would we go beyond aid? I'm saying, and again, so kokoji loan and how the basic school dama school. How do you pay the loan? Now country, the whole country now because 30 million workers, our civil and public servants, omu nipa 5,000. Your friends say 5% of the national the total population. Now Mami Musa said, Ministry of Finance na nkasa na esi hɔ. Say working force ni nyina nipa 1,000. Internally generated fund that create wɔ hɔ no a year. Wo taxes are tete or workers. Workers who teach you a whole year no, a whole month no, unya more than 40,000 or 50,000. Into 50,000 road ben adebeye. So we Ministry of Works and Housing na workers in you 200. So we Ministry of Energy workers in you do say. And two quantity says cannot. What debate my running country? You cannot. What it tells you, say countries that are having service nations like United States or the secure education and no create high professionals and no resources. One tap some of the resources. Saudi Arabia and oil one a new half of American Alaska. Oil America. Saudi Arabia and oil one a new the Canadian oil stock Alberta. America gold or Las Vegas and Denver no. Are you getting me in Las Vegas no? And Ghana needs our gold in be on 2 years because they don't want to conflict with technology. We train doctors. Now doctor be a hospital. With my operation I $100,000. Now doctor need to make tax. No also to my GB. No there is social services or the BI road. Into American government cannot say yati road, yaja road waha. Now government minister president say oh ko jina ha ko lanche ako commission road. The road is not yours. The municipality belongs. They have to. Into Obino a template daho a municipal one program all year because say the Sikano ho and then back again to the South Africa. They are not American. South Africa always have budget surplus because Sika wo kuonimu no omuntimi ninwe no. But then again post independence liberation of your friends appetite no your deep government edi share the patuntum sem no Nelson Mandela, Thabo Mbeki and then Jacob Zuma and today Ramaphosa increasing 2% of unemployment. So what is the mindset? The country no is being supported by the cash stock, the wealth that will create because of the scale industry or the scale banks man South Africa to today. We are registration of company and so production. The Sika is so much.
Will you advise that government should go back into a year investment in a year industries? Because Adebakwa MPP are buying a believing is almost say they don't believe in government, rather building industries, investing in industries, but rather yama individuals individuals and
hold on there. About your own scale, yama individual. What kind of individual? Yes, are rhetorics, political speeches.
Okay.
What the individual need the den and akostati ejuma.
Sika.
Individual okofes kan wo hin. who commercial bank who ADP is cancelling that commercial bank or the Bama free for the Bama. ADB loan ben or the ama farmer. ADB loan ben or the ama ubi or corn. Maybe just say, so also believe in doing SYZ. Maybe you say, Ghana do a bro season. You try bro near the year. January. The countries be so soon a bro no or any cereal. Why in corn cereal, why in whatever or the Ecoton International J cash stock. Now farmer now no trying to brew. Or no and done a brew or the second a new 1 meter. And what the bed obey you and a chair self. Ocha bro na no their basic one. Nanko for to near January. What have you done with that brew? What have you done with akoma dan cocoa? Your friend saying tomatoes. What have you done with the shea butter? And that is one of the most lucrative business on the world market, shea butter. How much and how well and a Ghana government were involved in shea butter? And I'm saying, say, because I was a certain colonial master. Now when you're arguing so be creative wealth, don't come and tell me, say, ube timi add any value na bruni beto. Ghana gold, Ghana cocoa, wouldn't me add any value. Switzerland magic. Oh yeah, then oh yeah, chocolate now the amount of the Swiss chocolate now from one no. And Tiwa say you are a seller, a custodian of what is called. We are custodian, the owner of the product. Tonesa.
How can we change the narrative?
We cannot change. We can change the narrative only when Yabenya Vice President Anoye or Bank of Ghana Governor
Dr. Muhammad Bawumia.
Yes, currently Yabenya Pakwesi Emisa.
Okay.
Yabenya Dofo. No economic minister. What I say. Say Yabenya all these economists are likely the last 16 years and Yabenya respective vice presidents are nominated by Bank of Ghana. They know. Dr. Muhammad Bawumia, he knows. Say you cannot run any country without having your own wealth of money and cash stock coming from nowhere. Until we depend on taxes at Koteka International Airport. Obi bag or diaba, shoes 5, mama 3, maybe 2. Tema port, obi car or diaba, engine 2. So the car no bar a higher luxury. What did the attitude bar outdated? Both end to end, meaning a higher tax. What did that barbecue higher? What the more barbecue luxury? What do you want? Until yanya focus, economic focus, nina tema port. Into when importers one for tomatoes, one for Wiyama. Into a system that encourages Obin Koto knockout, Emeton, Nagi tax. Obin Kofa tomatoes, Emeton Nagita, Obin Kofa towel, Emergy tax. And that's not what economy works. You can never develop.
That is why one district, one factory.
One district, one factory is supposed to be, it's a German concept developed post, your friend say, Second World War. The country had its own money regardless of the war. And they gave to companies, sector district, so the youth in I free hall. Now, want to mean develop. Into Saudi company district anymore. Yama tax exemptions.
Okay.
Let me employ. Now we may have urbanization problem to travel from Krona, baby any power ho, be feel comfortable.
But in this case, here, dear, no one district, yeah, say, yeah,
dear, one district, one factory, maybe besides say, yeah, this kind of man, yeah, this manner. Your government has not created money and give to the bank, say. So be Babaji Sika could see factory there. The interest rate near 3%. Government in a technical person, the account on my directions. Ghana Bank on my loan. Only technical mobile supervisor because say wabeju collateral into a relaxed and lazy banking system. Into another diano, a bank like commercial bank, baby on this guy is COT, charges on transaction, or till once you know about it, what kind of approach? Because my loan are budgeted to 1%. Or the loan be show on some insurance, but meanwhile no loan seek and insurance be uncover. Them. So therefore, the country we must understand, ye timber. Se government na onim se yesi nkofo scale inuano omucha edisie no wakofa forestry wakofa police wakofa military edi omagu from Sankore ebepem Accra driver na akowia odi timber ne ban mo bagi ni sika zi do ba no ate road transport expenses dey ato onya sa na no
right
no atua at the end of the day na bedu ha enti se wo government ni se nkofo be wi anuano e no betwa anuano e na whichever will be blackmail obey black market etwa dia. What stops you? Say we be hu eduana abitwa. into the front line omo mbeji akoto plywood no abana akotwa ninu ya into that case you can regulate the forest baby a wutwa duane free adafke du be hu duane de nyini ya wuntwa na wo de bawie a front line for na beji
instead of them going to the bush
bush ni na so the chainsaw okotra we no twa na the chainsaw so no otwe de betukrum no pagya to yi a eka bia so obobia no police bi gi 2 cedis so ba kra ba na price ne cost.
So in this case say ever see a fat timber what the government should do, and the government should be the front liner, no, and a koto, a coach, and free forest war. Now, or the bar, no, be a person to me, and a
so you are controlling environment on your own. Then you are also making money on your own. Then you can regulate which trees are to be cut and all that. When you move here. Now let's come to bauxite. Bauxite, you know, will to be yes. Into a country, no government, no one be BBR. Afrifa, Kwame, Kojo, they want to do bauxite. Me wom investor, Makofan de Naba. The government must be part, say or no regulatory, because bauxite need to name one to be. Obi to clinker, Obi to your friend is saying, other mineral resources will come her. Papa, government in him who she. Would Yana say, Oba or no not Makola market, no also tomatoes. Now, Kwako ne cash stock odi adwuma ni a day no 80 Ghana cedis e bi dey 50 Ghana cedis na akọji na tax of 2 cedis what did then be Accra river Accra waters what did then be you cannot do it enti yan mineral resources no abrofo no ma ho kwan ma ho add value no aba beto ama no and in that case no have enough of your own mineral resources one kasa wa take part. And I'm referring to countries like Botswana. When I call Botswana Okutu Diamond, and a tiny country like Botswana, post-independent Botswana till today, they have been the first, second, third best economy till today because create cash stock. The students alone for 20 years, or when the social services, South Africa and the West Case not till today, about why you train Sika, your money Mexica. I get me. Country in one resources. Sika be South African politician post. Mandela, the country is still solid financially because we're timid disika or cash stock at the amount loan and production and your South African production quite out a match European standard. And the Europe can go to South Africa and other goods and services there. They have their money. And to borrow.
You seem to have a lot of knowledge because of Emre. I say, but we are so hungry for Nyama. But Emre also saw the community. Yamusa, one question. Na yemfa and wrap up. Which you, I know, if I me papa, my friend be obeba. Onti me gasoma. Aha, I'm telling you, my friend are obeba. Father, Yamusa, one question. And for say all this knowledge, all these ideas. One. Why have you never ever been in front line administrative work for this country? Or better still, put yourself out there and say, I want to be president and lead this country. Why haven't you done any of this?
Well, for your information, yesterday I was confirmed a Deputy Foreign Minister of West Papua. Oh,
Deputy Foreign Minister of West Papua?
Yes.
West Papua Guinea?
Yes, West Papua in the Australian region.
Okay.
About 2 weeks ago, of course, confirmed international diplomatic consultant still for the presidency. Now the interim president, who is now currently in London, surprisingly yesterday, confirmed me to be the deputy foreign minister of that country, which is not too bad.
When you are not from that country?
You don't need to be in a country because for them, they are still having independence issue, which is my task to make sure, say, you've been independence in my country. And so you are allowed to form interim government.
Right.
And UK government is hosting the presidency of West Papua. So they are allowed to have an external minister who is at large, more or less, to map up. And see, that is what I'm doing for the country. This country, I'm sorry, Manko Prep College. And the Manko Manko any of those schools, what I said. Me call Makalanta, you know it. So, me call Makalanta. Yes, you're white and blue, no? You're Makalanta student, okay?
Do you need classmates?
So, a Congress of Achimotans, Minkahu.
Okay.
A Congress of whatever.
Minkahu.
And I'm sorry, many classmates woman. But I have some controversial classmates, Bini Domlevo, from somewhere. And then Ashanti regional minister, he was my teacher, my dad, so he knows my mindset. And some of the people out there, I've had a chance to work with some of them on international platform. They know my mindset. I'm saying, say, me align me home to any political party in Ghana because I don't believe in politics. I believe in nation building. I believe in emancipation of economics. Okay. I don't believe in democratic elections. They don't believe in democracy. Say, democracy to give me my thumb. Say, wash one sa tom printing, but to me, I'm sorry. Ebi anam ento abada. Because minim de bi amento mano. However, I believe in economic democracy, and that takes the people to liberate the people.
Like what is happening in Rwanda?
Rwanda, the most undemocratic president, Paul Kagame, we've talked. But Paul Kagame, are you getting me? Because I went to the Rwanda genocide. I worked in that genocide. I worked in the Sierra Leone for the Sanko genocide. I've done a lot of things. Kakra, internationally, with Zebra International and others. Sawosha Kagame. Kagame is the most undemocratic president of the African continent. But when you talk in terms of economic freedom, economic emancipation, he could be, if not the number 2, maybe the number 3. Number 1 automatically cannot be him. Why? Kagame right now, as we speak, what the Rwanda air at the Ato air, or Sate Rwanda air with only 1 aircraft, now only 737. Kagame can now boast say, or a dream of Africa. Or your friend is a dreamliner, more than 30 as we speak. The dreamliner no, or fly from Kigali direct to Mumbai, or fly to European destinations, African regional hub, no, or fly baby. Now, my mimisa say, the West African traveling hub, the biggest is Ghana. What training airline officials more than any other country? KLM Brunei and Waya Juma Hakotoga International Post, so the Ghanaians can dispatch in. British Airways need Brunei manager, Ghana for. KLM, British Airways, Air Brazils, Air France, Emirates, from major airlines, over 30 airlines in Ghana, you need Brunei or control Airport Ghana for until who were the strongest aviation.
But a simple airline.
Hold on. Now we are your aviation minister, your transport minister. Asiama is my colleague, my best friend. Asiama Sautia. There is no agreement that only Ethiopia airline be a bit my possible. Because on my fly except or the 2 flag, Ethiopia airline flag buffer, now Ghana de buffer. How do you engage Ethiopia to come and manage your airlines? Airline now then sign management agreement to airline away. We need my Bandarati jet, I have any past 6. I actually Ghana, your friend is saying a FIFA Airlines. We need be. Now Ethiopia, Shani Airlines, or fly to more than even United Airlines, or fly more than only KLM or APA. Kenya Airways, Intisha pilots, share Kenya, me buy a piloting. Kenya Airways, pilots, school and I'm back for the 3 air school. I want to boys at 22 years, now already wearing a badge. No, the not now. 22 years, that's what just salary of 17,000. Timmy papa. 30 years, now or just salary close to about there 20,000 or 40,000. Emirates recruitment, oh yeah. Emirates flight in now, wow, Ghanaian girls, air hostess Neguso. Intimi Bisase, Salas and Ouattara, old man, within 10 years, we're teaming the Air Cote d'Ivoire, as out to back, our fleet of more than 30 aircraft as we speak. Our flight to every French destination and Air Cote d'Ivoire Econo. What the Cote d'Ivoire airline, Air Fly baby, Air Burkina, or no our original flight, our team call baby. Namibia, small country like Namibia, only an independence in 1990 from an African country, or Namibia Airlines, into the airline industry in Nkwan. So who employ youth. Now I'm a beautiful girls. See a tough flight to swap. Me, I like watching good things. Into business class.
Now I'm a beautiful girls. Maybe I don't saturate.
I'm some girl. Your girl. Show your girl. And I bear man to what they say. Now all what they can do is to hold phones and be taking pictures at the airport. Who need one girl our graduate here who soon for a juma our baby to turn cat say or a flight attendant. These are all huge professions that you can create. And then Mattis says so Air Malta. When the Air Malta, who play now they call Air Malta here. What you are telling to do is that Malta for the chance. So be fly or Ghana airspace. Your friend Air Malta Ghana administration the same tax. Is it different from gold now? Any cocoa now? Any Ghana oil number for 2%. What is the point? And please once again, Ghanaian economists and economic management team. So one man create what is called your own cash stock. Next, also budget your taxes. Also budget taxes or tamaport. Anywhere you want to have your money there, you cannot develop any nation. Mami namase. All
right, that's I will have Farouk, international diplomatic consultant. Or been ye, me papa no many in war. If I because I'm not by age, but maybe the same area. Kumasi also I'm in Kremum. No, Swami. When I Swami, is that correct?
There be Swami Kremum, papa. If in Kremum, Swami Hinifi.
Okay, Imam Fee.
Yes, then Ashanti regional Imam Chino. That is the biggest one single Islamic family, the biggest in the whole Ghana is our family.
Whole family.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there's no family that is bigger than us. We are the biggest. Okay. But originally, no, we did a family now. You take us back to the voter in Amfoega.
Okay.
What I say? Ashanti for no call war no. And no fire and namunum do. And to buy no. Now the na oye Santin or Bompire man. For Kremo Sidik. Or no, ye great grandfather. And to Santin in the diabetes, we were the first people to occupy Kejitia. And the KJTI be developing mom dear Kotana Swami. And my name great grandmother's in year 3. On the Bakota South, Bakota Kuala Swami Swami. That is what Swami are dominating you. If you don't come through Esa, Swami consists of HMS and Bosimisa. With that house, you will not win.
I am not coming there.
But we will contest. If one day some of us raise up Swami's for us, I'm sorry, but that's
the truth. You Swami Kramu there for or more. But Minu our my Ghana, ye dear brand, Sonkom, ye Dika Kacham, young people in the system. The starting show, we may catch them say we are going to do something different. And actually, we are doing something different. Yeah, the woman I join ewo mutrimo beti me develop your mind way. Na enye MPP in this system and never ha ababidin komo. We are tired of the usual. We are tired of the usual. We are tired of everyday MPP co NDC car, MPP co NDC car. When there are genuine people who can help develop this country. Aha, TV XYZ. I'm not going to respond to some of you. And I hey, baby, Mabaha may be developing me quota, me contributing me quota to the development of this station. And that is all it is. Midin sign your Katachi Afrifa Mensa and then Emreninti and then baby Amenaminti to yes sign and then yes sign out in term. Now next week yes Shepa Bako MSA Bremo. As I am the nondescript radical reformer, one that bears the spirit of our forebears from Kenneth Kaunda to Nelson Mandela to Francois Tombape, from Francois Tombape to Leopold Senghor, Julius Camarada Nyerere to Aya Kwame Nkrumah. Untimi Rinrame. Catch them microphone is a message through challenge. The MPP youth and the NDC youth. Anybody who thinks that there is a reason to maintain the constitution I have been for 30 years ago, they should come. Any personality attack. Any side dinner or mukotena won't to meet TV ne two and no political distortion. Or the distorted margin. You stay focused. TNA now or minor and quanenim. Next week, Obese Shame. Bye bye.